Good afternoon. Welcome. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon. Welcome to Mary Grace Media. Just touching up my chat here. Please share this as you're coming in. And if you're on Facebook, please share this into groups. And let's see. Okay, here we are. I'm Mary Grace. We're live with Mary Grace Media. And this is Tuesday, the 15th of December, 2020. And I'm streaming on Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, and I think CloutHub. So here we go. Why wouldn't I be giving you good news? It's all good news. It's all good news. We know who wins. All right. So if you're new to my show, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you found me. Thank you to everyone who is sharing out the show. And thank you so much for helping to grow this channel. We've had over 30,000 views yesterday on the Periscope channel of the show that I did, and so I am very grateful for that. So thank you everybody for coming and for being here. And we have a lot to talk about today. There are lots of things happening as usual. There has never really been a dull moment since Donald Trump decided to run for president. And that's great. I think it's awesome. And so we have moments where it is, some days are easier than others, but it's all part of the adventure of saving the Republic. And so I'm glad everybody's here, and I do appreciate you being here. And it looks like I have some chat, maybe a little bit, maybe not. One of the things that people are talking about in the chat right now is that Periscope is going to be going away. And it looks like they're folding into Twitter. And so let's not panic. One of the things that I hope everybody is going to be learning right now is that we give things like the 24-hour rule, right? We don't need to panic over things like that. It happens. When I first started on Periscope, you could go live from Twitter. So this isn't the end of the world. Okay, so if your hair is on fire over this, I'm just going to encourage you to relax, and we will get through this. I actually think it's going to be easier. So I don't know. I'm going to look at it and see what the deal is. We'll figure it out. We're problem solvers. We're the winners here, and we're the ones who hold all the cards. We are the majority. We're no longer silent, and so I'm on other platforms as well, and it's all going to be fine. So don't worry. All right. The noise that you hear in the background is my kitten, our kitten Barley. He's decided that he wants to play in this space today. So some days he's doing other things. And today he's right in my space. So if you hear that noise, that's the kitten. Okay. And let me see. I wanted to talk a little bit today about something that has come up a lot. And that is this. There's something that I keep hearing from people. And I'm trying to give these little pep talks to keep people pepped up and excited and happy, and to help you to be encouraged. And that's one thing I'm going to do right now. But there's a little bit of a soberness to what I'm going to say to you, because I want you to understand something, and that is this: we are at war. And we're seeing one phase of a years-long operation to take down the cabal, the global cabal that has been really running things for a very long time. And one of the things that I see a lot in the chat and on Twitter is, I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of waiting. Why is it taking so long? I'm done. And I see people say things like that. They say things like, that's it, I'm out. If if this person doesn't get arrested, that's it, I'm out. Or, well, they certified the votes for Biden yesterday, and my whole family believes that he's going to be the president. I can't take this anymore. I see this a lot. I see it a lot. And you know, I I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking about it this morning, and I was talking about it to the Lord, and he pointed something out to me, and that was this. He said, there's something on my screen. He said, you know, he said it took the Israelites a really long time to get into the promised land. And he said, you know why that is? I said, why? He said, because they weren't ready, and because they made a lot of stupid mistakes along the way. And a lot of the reason that they couldn't get into the promised land didn't have anything to do with me, it had to do with them. And I'm going to repeat that. They weren't ready. It was because of the decisions that they made that they didn't get into the promised land in the time that they thought they should. And there was a lot of grumbling and complaining, but there was a golden calf along the way too, if you recall. And who made that calf? Who made it? It wasn't God. It was the Israelites. So even after they were delivered from the captivity of the Egyptians, they were actually left. They were out there wandering in the desert for 40 years. They took the long way. I mean, you know the expression that they went around Robin Hood's barn. Well, they went around and around and around for 40 years. And in fact, the generation that went into the promised land was not the generation that left Egypt. And there were times when they actually wanted to go back into captivity. And so this is something important that I want you to understand, because I believe that God is speaking to a lot of people here. And the question that I would ask you, and I believe this is a question that God would ask you, is what have you done to get us to this point? What have you allowed? What have you participated in? And what have you fostered? What behaviors, what beliefs, what action, what lack of action have you participated in to get us to this point? And I think that's a legitimate question, okay? Because every single one of us has been living on this planet for long enough to know that we have voted for certain people, that we have made certain decisions, that we have made agreements, that we have participated in certain actions or lack of actions that have allowed us to get to the point where we are in this country. And are there things that are out of our control? Yes, certainly there are. But when I see somebody who is complaining and whining and expecting President Trump to wave a magic wand and fix problems that have been allowed to fester for a very, very long time, it bothers me, because Donald Trump is not the solution to your problems. Donald Trump is not the solution to the entire deep state cabal that has been allowed to run roughshod over the world. We have big problems here. We have bigger problems than just one person who needs to go to jail. And it's a very tangled web that has been woven, and it's a global web. Here comes my wingman. We're talking about something very serious right now, Todd. Okay, so do you understand that I really want to emphasize this to you? Because if you're in this mindset of saying, like, if you have a condition, I'm going to borrow what Parent Praying Medic just said. If there's conditions on your patriotism, then I would challenge you to look deeper and see just where your patriotism begins and where it ends. Because my family has had generations of patriotism, and some years have been easier than others. Some situations have been easier than others. And the place that we are now, in this country, we are in a do or die moment. We are in a time we are in a time where it is you're either in or you're out. And if you decide that you're out based on something, on results that you don't see happening, and if you have conditions on what should happen to convince you to stay on the patriotism train, then my question for you is, where will you go? What is your alternative? Where are you going to go to have a better situation than what you could have right now? Okay? Because here's the thing. If you leave the country, where are you going to go? What country is doing better than America? What country in the world are people clamoring to get to? What country in the world do people risk their life to get to? What country in the world do people get fake passports for so that they can become citizens of this country and get all of the benefits that are offered by our country? What country do you have that has a system of checks and balances and a constitutional republic that allows you to have a say in the voting process, that allows you to convene a panel of electors that will vote in protest against an election that has officially been called for one candidate named Joe Biden, but that has not been officially verified because of the fraud that we're seeing that's being uncovered every single day. There's no other alternative. I need you to understand that. And so if you're one of these people that is whinging and whining, I'm going to say this again, you got to grow up. There's no other alternative. You know, I mean, the Democrats tell us all the time how much they hate America. The celebrities continue to tell us how much they hate America. They told us they were going to Canada, all right? And they didn't. And so, you know, the thing is, if you can't hack it, if you're out every time something doesn't go your way, then I don't know what else to tell you, okay? Because think about this. If you're the Israelites in the desert and you're wandering around, there's only two ways out. One way is across into the promised land. The other way is back into slavery. Because I guarantee you, if there is a Joe Biden presidency, our entire nation will be enslaved and you will be with them. So if you make a choice now to get off the train, you're literally choosing communism. Okay? So that is my little rant and mic drop for today. Boom. Okay? So let's get on the Trump train and stay there. You can't keep jumping off. All right? Because every time you jump off, you're jumping into communism. That's it. And a lot of the slavery that I see taking place with people is actually a slavery of the mind. And so there's a lot of personal work that needs to be done right now with people. If you don't have the stomach for the drama, if you don't have the stomach for the suspense, if you don't have the stomach for fighting a war, okay, this is a digital Pearl Harbor that has taken place here. And so we are at war. We are at war. And every single day, part of your job is to keep the morale up. And that's why I get irritated when people come into the chat and they're just negative Nellies. You should see the nasty comments that I get on my Twitter. I don't need people to be coming into my show, which is sort of my space, right? It's our space together. I don't need so-called patriots coming in and throwing smoke bombs and stink bombs into the room. We get enough of that on Twitter with the trolls. They're absolutely nasty. And so your job is to bring positivity, to bring light, to bring encouragement, to be a part of the solution. And I'm going to tell you something that my grandmother used to say. If you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. And that's a good little thing to abide by, okay? Because again, I get enough nastiness and negativity from the people in my timeline on Twitter that want to destroy me. Praying Medic gets it too, okay? The more, the bigger you get, The more visible you get, the more under attack you are. So just be aware of that, because we're fighting together. We need to stay together. And so if you're having a moment, we all do. There are moments. Those moments, I'm going to suggest to you that you have these private conversations with your friend. That you don't come and blow up a social media feed where everybody's coming to get encouragement and to rally around our president and our country and keep fighting this fight. That's what I'm going to suggest. And one thing that I used to work in restaurant industry, and one thing that we would do when you're in a restaurant, it's very high paced. There's a lot of stress, and there are times when you just want to like throat punch somebody, and it happens, especially in a fast paced restaurant. But you can't do that. And so what you do is you go into the walk-in freezer and you close the door and you scream. And so you might have those moments where you need to go into the walk-in and scream. And that's a private moment where you let it out. Maybe you need to go to a mountaintop and scream. Maybe, like I used to do when I lived in Hawaii, go out, on your board and get a mile offshore and scream. Do what you need to do. That's part of your self-care. Part of your self-care is not dumping on the people, on everybody around you, whether it's in a room or in a virtual room. Okay, so moving on from that, I think everybody's picking up what I'm putting down. Are ya? Because we got a long fight ahead of us. We need to keep the morale up here. All right? Yeah, everybody loves Praying Medic. He never gets any negative comments. Everybody just loves him. His timeline is just full of love, 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 love all the time. Just like mine. Okay. I've never blocked so many trolls as I have in the past 2 days. It's been crazy. Okay, so Millie's here, but she can't see the chat. There's something really weird about that. And Todd is here in the Periscope feed. He's my wingman that you saw on our show the other day. I've got a lot of people here on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you share this to groups. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like and comment. Leave comments everywhere. Let's just try to keep it positive, okay? Because you can go right over to CNN if you want negative, and they will give you sour faces all day long, okay? So here we go. Fight, fight, fight. Now, there's something interesting that happened. Somebody sent me a message about something, and I'm going to come back to that. But there's one thing that I wanted to tell you, and that is this. The president is fighting for us every single day. And and when it comes to the people that are supposed to be fighting for us, we're starting to see the reality of who's really on our side. Okay, and a lot of them are Republicans. Have you noticed that? And something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is that, the Democrats, we pretty much see their true colors, okay? We see their true colors. We know where they stand. We know they hate us. And we've spent a lot of time over the years voting for Republicans and trying to get them in office. And we've had the majority in the House and the Senate before. And we've had situations where we thought the Republicans were going to come through for us. For example, when Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House, and he promised to fix Obamacare. He promised, and then he let us down, right? And so this is important to understand, because what we're seeing right now is that the worst part of the swamp, in my opinion, are the Republicans. Are you starting to see that the swampiest of the swamp are turning out to be Republicans? And I'm looking at a tweet that Lynn Wood put up earlier, and this is okay. This is interesting because he put up a tweet and he said, President Donald Trump is a genuinely good man. He does not really like to fire people. That's true. He's very loyal. I bet he dislikes putting people in jail, especially Republicans. He gave Brian Kemp and Georgia's Secretary of State Raffensperger every chance to get it right. They refused. They will soon be going to jail. And this is the meme that he put up. I love Linwood. He's savage. This is what he put up. Okay? Take that, China. Okay? And so this is important to understand because we have come to a time this is a watershed moment in our history in many, many ways. But one of the things that is happening is that we're seeing people's true colors. And it's important to understand this because this is an answer to prayer because we've been praying for God to reveal the truth. Okay, we've been praying for God to show us the true motives of people, the true colors of people, and we're seeing the true colors. We're seeing a lot of very extremely swampy Republicans, and they're coming out of the woodwork. And this is a good thing. It's a good thing. So remember, when you ask God for something, when you pray according to his will, he's actually going to give you what you ask for. And so this is an important thing to remember, that he is answering our prayers. And so, it is upsetting to see because it's really annoying. And so we are seeing right now that that there are really, really horrible Republicans. And one of the things that's coming out here is that the Republican Party, as we know it, is done. It's done. And I was listening to a speaker today. I can't remember his name, but he basically said, the president Trump is really the first true third party candidate we've had. He ran as a Republican because he couldn't get the traction as an independent. We all know that. But he's a smart enough man, and he's a smart enough at marketing and branding to know that he could get the traction with the Republican Party. And so there's a lot of changes happening, and people are leaving the Democrat Party, but they're also leaving the Republican Party, which is phenomenal. And so it's things are happening at a kind of a breakneck pace in some ways, and then some things are happening at a slower pace. Okay, but the timing is perfect. And one of the things that I see with this president and with his organization, the military intelligence insiders that are working for him, is that so many things have obviously been planned out for a long time. And that brings me to Barr. All right. Yesterday, when I was doing my show, people were just the feed was exploding with news that AG Barr had resigned. AG Barr is out. AG Barr is out. AG Barr is out. It came out during the show, and it's kind of interesting because I was looking at his resignation letter, and somebody pointed out that the letter doesn't say anything about resigning. Did anybody notice that? I just thought it was very interesting. It doesn't say anything about resigning. And then the other thing about this letter is that the timing coincides perfectly with something that was put up by our intelligence insider about the stealth bomb. And one of the things that they pointed out about the stealth bomber is that when the stealth bomber is doing its work, you can't see it. That's why it's called stealth, right? It's undetectable to radar. Did you notice that? One of the things that I pointed out to a lot of you is that so much of what Trump does, so much of what the president does, so much of what his team does is optics. And so think about this, all right? The AG Barr has been doing the work that he did sort of behind the scenes. And Praying Medic says no one in DC resigns. They develop a sudden need to be with their families. Okay, so it doesn't say this is my resignation letter. The president has warmly given him accolades. Okay, and he didn't give him a nickname. And I talked about this a while back that when the president really hates somebody, he gives them a nickname. All right. I mean, you have Pencil Neck. What are some other nicknames? Little Bobby Corker. Remember that one? He always comes up with names, and so this is important to understand because the people that he truly hates, he assigns them a nickname almost all the time, and so one of the things that is starting to make sense about Barr, if you think about a stealth bomber. Mini Mike, exactly. You think about a stealth bomber, and you think about the fact that when the bomber is at work, when it's on mission, you can't actually see it. It's not detected by radar. And then once the mission is complete, basically it needs to bug out, and so it may become visible. All right, and so if you think about what Barr has been doing over the last few weeks, he did something kind of interesting, and that is he put out a statement saying that he hadn't really seen much evidence of voter fraud, or that there wasn't really anything that would overturn the election. He threw sort of a stink bomb in the room, and he got people really angry. He managed to get the Republicans ticked off at him, all right? And he managed to get the left on his side, right? Because they're saying, see, that's what he said. He finally, he's on our side, okay? And that's all optics. And then the other effect of that is he basically painted a target on his back. And that put all the attention on him. And as he's making his exit, there's other things going on. Because as we know about President Trump, he's really good at doing things that make people look over here, not over here. Okay? And so this is kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah. And so that's just something to think about as you watch what comes forward. And here's the other thing about a good investigator, a good prosecutor, a good attorney general. If you're doing your job and you're opening investigations and you're investigating bad people, why would you announce it publicly? Why would you come out and announce and say, oh yeah, we're investigating all the people who cheated in this election, and here's my list of people that I'm investigating. All right, why would you do that? That's like when Obama dropped leaflets to tell ISIS that he was going to be bombing them, right? You might want to get out of the area because we're going to be dropping bombs in your area at noon tomorrow. So think about that. If Barr is actually investigating, if Barr is actually taking care of business, why would he announce it publicly? Do you see what I mean? And I may be right about this. I may not be. I'm just giving you some things to think about. All right. There are things that we won't necessarily know ever. Okay. But the president has told us from the very beginning. He said, why would I tell anybody what I'm doing? Why would I announce what I'm up to? Why would I announce my plans when he's in press briefings and they're demanding to know what he's up to, right? What are you doing? When are you going to do that? What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about Syria? What are you going to do about this? And, a lot of times he goes, well, we'll just have to see. Let's just see what happens, right? And that's because, he has a plan. He always has a plan, and he's not going to tell them what it is. And that is part of the optics that the president puts out as well, because he's really good at allowing his enemy to believe their own lies about him. And so they have a preconceived idea. And so their confirmation bias puts them into a position to believe what they think about him coming into a situation. They think he's stupid. They think he's diaper Don. They think that he is a big baby. They think he's a big crybaby. They think that the wheels are falling off. They think that he is in the White House, caught back on his heels, and that the walls are closing in. And so that's actually a good place to be, because as long as they think that, they're not looking for him to do anything remarkable. And case in point, with the remedy that came out, I'm not going to say the word because I might get censored here. With the remedy that came out that people are going to take in their arm, the fake news media said over and over and over again that he would never be able to pull it off, that nothing could be expected for at least a year from the summer. You remember that? The news was just railing on him and predicting doom and gloom and saying that he would never be able to pull it off, and that he would just never be able to do this. And what do you know? The trucks rolled out yesterday. The first people got it, and there's millions and millions of doses going all over the country. Right? So whether you agree with that and whether you're going to take it or not, that's up to you. But the point is that they believe so much in their own narrative that they're kind of shocked that he pulled this off. Okay? I actually, when it comes to that, the fake news was asking Kayleigh today in her press briefing. They were asking her if the president was going to take it to set an example for the whole country. It's kind of crazy to me how these people get so sanctimonious about setting examples for the whole country when they're the ones who are enabling pedophiles and child rapists and money launderers and all of the things that have actually brought our country down. But I digress. But they're pearl clutching and demanding that the president set an example and take this on live TV and get everyone to do it. All right. My question is this, and Kayleigh said there will be some high profile people from the administration who will do it. My thinking is this: Dr. Death and Scarf Lady need to be the first people up there on TV putting that jab right in their arm. That's what I think. Why aren't they lining up to do it? Why aren't they the first ones to get out there and do it? This is their doing. I think he should make them do it. It's just what I'm saying. Oh, of course, Dr. Death, right? He's pawning it off on everybody else. This whole thing is his fault. He should be the front of the line. He should be on CNN Live taking it. Right? And Bill Gates. Yep, exactly. And Geraldo. Let's throw Geraldo in there too. I just feel like throwing shade on him. Okay? So I just think it's very interesting. Now, speaking of medications, something very interesting came out today. Something very interesting, and you tell me if you think this is a coincidence. Just tell me what you think, okay? That is this. You're not going to believe it. Yeah, Dr. Death is too busy posing for magazine covers. I saw him on a magazine cover at the store, and I turned it backwards so nobody would have to look at his face. Okay, listen to this. You're not going to believe this. American Medical Association rescinds previous statement against prescription of hydroxychloroquine to COVID-19 patients. Can somebody explain to the person in the Periscope chat why the president is pushing this treatment? I've explained it a lot of times, but please explain the optics on that and why he has to do it for political reasons. Okay, somebody help that person. All right, I'm going to read this again. American Medical Association, which is basically the medical cartel, rescinds previous statement against prescription of, you guessed it, hydroxychloroquine to COVID-19 patients. Do you remember when they said that nobody could prescribe it and that people would die because of it? All right. This is on par with the makers of the treatment, the other treatment, coming out right after the election and saying that it was ready. Think of all the lives that have been lost. Think about all the lives that have been lost because of this right here. These people have blood on their hands because they wouldn't allow it. They're the biggest lobbying, they're the biggest lobbying firm in the world. They run the medical industry and they have blood on their hands because they came out against this treatment in March. Think about how many months is that? Think about all the people who were not offered this. And we know from firsthand testimony from frontline doctors who gave this medication that it saved lives. That's where we are with this. It's disgusting. And they've reversed it now. It was in March that they said that nobody should use it, that it was dangerous. If that's not political, I don't know what else is. And this wasn't this was Trump derangement syndrome, but it was more than that. This was full-scale crimes against humanity. That's what is happening right here. That's what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, they put the fear of God in every doctor. Yeah, if your doctor won't prescribe it, there are a couple of places you can go, and you can get a telemedicine appointment, and you can get it prescribed in that way. They'll help you find a doctor in your state who's licensed in your state who will prescribe it. There one is America's Frontline Doctors, and the other one, Millie, do you remember the one that's on Anne's, one of Anne's sponsors, Anne Vandersteel? There's another one too that will do that. I mean, this is just crazy what we see happening right now. It's absolutely just the worst. I mean, it's criminal. Yeah, Regeneron is one. The monoclonal antibodies is one. Okay. I think you can get it. Yeah, you can get it prescribed for malaria. Yeah, but that is if you're traveling, right? It's just it's unbelievable. Dr. Zelenko. No, it's somebody else. I can't remember right now. She has a sponsor that is it Synergy Health, Frontline Meds. Okay, that's the Frontline Physicians. There's another one that is Anne's sponsor. It's not, yeah, ivermectin is one. Okay, speakwithanmd.com. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a couple of treatments, but one of the things that Kayleigh McEnany mentioned today was monoclonal antibodies, and it's approved now for all 50 states. So make sure that you ask for that if you have anybody in your family or you or anybody else comes down with that. Make sure you ask for monoclonal antibodies, because that is something that Kayleigh mentioned today. That is the blood that is coming from the people who've already had it. Yeah, if your doctor at the VA won't prescribe it, you might mention the right to try, and you might say that the AMA has come out and said that it is safe for people with this. Okay, and also I would also recommend, or I've seen Dr. Zelenko recommend quercetin, Quercitin, so Synergy. Okay, yeah, I don't know the website of the person that does the telemedicine for Anne. Okay, so Banlanivimab. Okay. Todd, my wingman, knows how to get it. Yeah. He knows how to get all kinds of things. He can hook you up with Retin-A. He's got the hydroxychloroquine hookup. Yeah, monoclonal. Okay. Regeneron is one of the things that the president used. It's regenerative medicine. Okay. So I just wanted to budesonideworks.com. Go back through the chat and make sure that you're getting this information. A lot of people in the Periscope chat are putting some information in. Okay. So, all right. Now, I want to go on to the next topic. I want to explain a couple of things about the electoral votes. Oh, there you go. Delia put it in the chat. To reach Synergy, 888-329-0129. 888-329-0129. That's Synergy. And I believe if you mention Steel Truth, you actually get a better price on your first visit. Okay, so Steel Truth, Ann Vandersteel, that's one of her sponsors. I'm sending people to her sponsors, but this is important. Okay, we are definitely in this together. Okay, and then one of the things that Dr. Z recommends is quercetin, and that's a preventive, and you do it with zinc. So, but if you're high risk, Dr. Zelenko is saying that you need to do the hydroxychloroquine like once a week, I think. But it's Zelenko protocol. Okay. The phone number is 888-329-0129. All right. Yeah, the president does look younger. Somebody put that in the chat. He looks amazing. Isn't it incredible? It's amazing. He looks younger. Oh, wait. Delia's correcting me. 888-329-0120. Was that my mistake? Terry's putting it in the Facebook chat for the frontline doctors. Okay, 888-329-0120. 0120 is Synergy. 0120. I think that was just a typo. So 888. I lost it. Where's the chat? 329-0120. Okay, got it. I'm going to move on. Now, let me talk about these electoral votes. So yesterday, we found out that the Republican electors from these contested states, the Republican electors from these contested states, they voted for President Trump, and they sealed their votes and they sent them to Congress, and those votes will be counted on January 6th. And so the process is that if when those votes get to Congress on January 6th, if there's one person in Congress and one person if there's one person in Congress and one person in the Senate who objects to the votes that are sent to the electoral votes, then the vice president can reject them. So that's procedural. Okay, it's constitutional. So that's one thing now that happens. Now, the reason I figured this out today, I was listening to something. One of the reasons that they said that they are actually going ahead with these electoral votes and sending the Republican ones for the president, that is this. I think technically the electors didn't have to do that, because if it's contested, it's contested. But what they're doing, I believe that they are sort of hedging their bets. And what that means is this. What it means is that right now there is ongoing litigation. And for example, in Maricopa County in Arizona, they're going to be conducting a they're going to be conducting a forensic investigation on the Dominion voting machines. This is a big deal because there are 400 million people in Maricopa County. And the votes that have been cast in that county, I mean, that's the biggest county in the whole state. And so that accounts for the vast majority of the votes in Arizona. And so they're going to be doing a forensic audit. And one of the things that we've seen coming out is that, for example, in Antrim County, Michigan, there was I think like a 68% error rate on these machines and the way that they counted the votes. The legally acceptable error rate is, I believe it's 0.0008%. So obviously they're off. Their numbers are off, right? And so this is an example of where this entire state could be turned around based on this forensic audit. And so the reason that the Republicans are sending their votes for Trump is that they want them there. They want them to be there in the event that these states get turned around. Does that make sense? That's just a little detail, but I think it's an important one. Yeah. So I think it's a big detail. I think it's a big detail because they didn't want to leave any stone unturned. Okay. Biden's having a parking lot rally right now. I still keep asking, where the Biden supporters are. Because, like I said, we did this whole thing in DC. We've done 2 big rallies and marches in DC, and there's hundreds of thousands of people. And that is supposedly Biden country. But the big question is there really any such thing as Biden country? Wait, I know what it is. It's China. China is Biden country. That's it. That's the only place. It's actually like the CCP is Biden country. That's it. Those are the only people that are loyal to him. And they're not even loyal to him. They just own him. That's it. There's nobody coming out waving Biden flags. I mean, we were in deep blue territory. We were in deep blue territory in Washington, D.C. All those people vote Democrat. And not a single one of those people came out. Not a single one of those people came out to support their guy. I mean, if he was legit their guy, wouldn't they come out? Wouldn't they come out and say, hey, he really did win. Why are you here marching for Trump? Like, wouldn't they contest it at all? And the other thing about these people is that when they're in your timeline, when they're on Facebook, and when they are when they're criticizing you on Twitter and all that, they're never supporting the country, right? It's never about America. It's never about how much they love the country or how much they love their candidate. It's all about how much they hate us and the president. They don't love America. They just hate us. They just love to hate. That's what's going on, And there's certainly not 80 million of them. It sounds like it sometimes. It seems like it because they're so obnoxious. So it's like, it's the equivalent of having like a what do you call it? A nagging woman. They just nag. So it seems like there's more of them than there are, right? That's what's going on with the Democrats, with Team Biden. They seem like more than they are because it's like gnats in your face all the time. All right. So that's just something to think about. And speaking of supporters, I want to show you something because I have a feeling you probably know who this guy voted for. Give me just a second. Let me just check here. Where am I? There's a lot of tweets here. Okay, this video is so funny. Uh, do I have trolls? I know. So did you hear barley? I know. Barley. Okay, this was at Costco. All right, hold on. Some of you probably saw this. Let them do it. You know why we're under this lockdown right now? Because all the information is coming out about COVID, and they know it's a farce. Hey guys, you must not do this. Just keep going, guys. If you continue, this is the life that you will have. Just keep going, guys. Keep going. Don't tell me I have the right. You know what? Governor Newsom doesn't have the right to shut us down, but make you wear a mask. That's right. All right, people, you know that's right. We've got to stand up for ourselves because this governor is going to keep us locked down until we do something about it. And I want to know, are you going to let this happen? It's a beautiful day outside and a wonderful. Don't let them do it. You know why we're under this lockdown right now? Because all the information is coming out about COVID. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, and the crazy thing about the Costco workers is nothing to see, just move along, nothing to see here, nothing to see. I mean, really? Yeah. And you know, they're acting like he's the crazy one. They're so brainwashed. It said in it's somewhere in California. I don't know what city, but I mean, you know, he this is the patriot. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've thought about doing that. I've talked to people individually and said, take off the mask, okay? Because, you know, he's right. He's right. If you don't put a stop to it, if you don't take this country back, if you don't take your state back, if you don't stand up for your business, then that's it. Yeah, I mean, and the workers, it's crazy, right? They're saying you don't have the right to do this. You know, everybody, the guy's just saying, okay, just move along, move along, move along, right? But at some point, people have to do this. They have to stand up and say, you're being lied to, you know? I'm thinking about printing up flyers and just pushing them around the neighborhood and just putting them everywhere and saying, you know, do the math, right? You're being lied to. There's no data to back up masks. I mean, and now there's a you know, treatment, prevention, whatever, and nobody's talking about it, you know? So it just, you know, something has to happen, you know? Yeah, I'm thinking about doing flyers or like postcards or something so that people can just get the information and say, you know, do your own research, you know, do your own research, figure out what is going on here because this is not okay. And they're not going to stop. I mean, you know, my governor is Ralph Northam. He's the baby killer. And so every time the president has a win, like last week when they announced that the prevention came out, that you know, every time he has a win, our governor goes out and does. He wants us to like mask harder, and he does a what do you call it, a curfew. Like he comes down harder every time something good happens to President Trump. It's disgusting. And so, you know, I went out and stocked up on groceries and water and superfoods because I don't know what he's going to do. You know, I mean, he may try to lock down our state again, even though there's a prevention. You know, because he's under their control. And so that's what I did. You know, you do what you feel like you need to do. Some states you don't need to do that, but yeah, okay. So somebody said my governor is Tom Wolf. He's the restaurant and religion killer. Yeah, ours is that too. Yeah, I mean, I think our restaurants are down to like 20, 5%. I know they were in DC. I mean, the other night in DC, we were having dinner, and we were still at the table at 10 o'clock, and they came along and literally just swept up all the wine glasses off the table. Didn't even say, like, you might want, you want to finish that before I pick it up? They literally just picked up all the glasses. For some reason, they forgot mine, and I still had my sparkling wine, and I got to drink it. I was like under the table drinking my sparkling wine. But isn't that just insane? I mean, like, come on, and people need to understand that that we're the only ones that can take back our freedom. And there was a restaurant owner, I guess, in California, who was yelling at these health inspectors, and the customers were yelling at him and saying, the customers were saying, why aren't you at Costco? There's 500 people in there. Why are you in here targeting and abusing this restaurant owner? And that's the whole truth of it, is if you don't understand that they are trying to destroy the, you can ask Todd, he was there. They're trying to, it's all about destroying the middle class. That's it. And one of the things that the president has, hold on a second. Hold on. I can't find him. I'm trying to find him. I don't see him. Do I have him muted? That's crazy. I'll get you, Wayne. Yeah. There he is. Huh. Yeah, you had a good run while it lasted. He's gone. Okay. Where were we? What was I saying? You will fight for my honor. Thank you. I appreciate it. He's beyond the mute. He's on the super block. Yeah. That's it. He's done. Done. Gone. Yeah. I Clinton incited him. That's it. He's done. He's done. I feel like the president needs to take some massive action against these governors. So what I was saying is that the president, his economy is so good, and the backbone of a good economy is small business. And so to me, it's no surprise that they're targeting them, that they're reporting that they're trying to take them out of business. It's because that is really one of the highlights of Trump's successes. And he was talking about that. He was talking about it in his speeches and his rallies and all that. And so it doesn't surprise me, because one of the things that you have to understand about developing nations and third world countries is that there's really no middle class, that people don't really own their businesses. And I'll give you an example. When I lived in Hawaii, there is the international marketplace, which is basically no longer. And it was like row after row after row of supernatural of vendors, right? Souvenirs. And they look like independent brokers, right? Everybody has little ticky-tacky souvenirs. You can get a hula skirt, you can get a puka necklace and things like that. And what I learned, though, is that those booths are actually owned by conglomerates, that the people who work in the booths, even though they look like owners, there's a few companies that own all of the booths, and people just rent them out. And so one of the things that is the goal of the cabal that's trying to take out individuals is to really to have ownership of your business and your company. And so one of the things that they want to do is to have the government rescue you, and then to have ownership, to get part ownership, to get a stake in your company when they bail you out. Okay? So think about that, because that's what they're pushing for. That's the end game here, is that, the government, they keep talking about relief, and they keep talking about payouts for these business owners, but the eventual goal is to have a stake in the business. Okay, so it's like the president wants PPP, that is just free and clear money. All right, the the governors, the communists, want loans, where you put up your business as collateral, and that they, not just as collateral, but that they have an ownership stake in your company. Do you understand that? Yeah, it is the mafia shakedown. That's who the left is. This is a very large, very sophisticated mob operation. And they keep forgetting, who is it that took down the biggest mob families in New York? Oh, wait, it's Rudy Giuliani. So kind of interesting, huh? Okay. Somebody had a question about superfoods, and this is a good time to answer that question, because I get my superfoods from my company. So if you want to get superfoods from me, send me an email. It's info@marygracemedia.com, and you can get a voucher to save $100 or more off of a month's supply of superfoods. And if you don't want to spend that much, if you don't want a month's supply, you can still save $50 off of a smaller order. So make sure you send me a message and get your voucher so that you can order your superfoods. And yeah, so it's info@marygracemedia.com, and you can get into our you can get into our superfoods transformation group. A lot of people want to lose weight after the holidays, after COVID. You Wait a minute, there's breaking news. Todd just said, you just got a notice from Trump DC that rooms have opened up for inauguration. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Did you book a room? You better call me. Okay. So let me get back to the superfoods, though. This is important because we are going to we're going to do a transformation group. So if you get your month's supply of superfoods from me, you're going to be able to participate in a private Facebook group, and then you're also going to get on our private Zoom calls. I know some of you don't like Zoom, but it is what it is. Okay, and so that's going to be good, because you're getting like private group coaching to go with your transformation. Okay, so this is perfect, because you get to talk to real people and touch base every week and have accountability and all that kind of stuff. So whether you want to lose weight, or you just want to restore your health, you want to deal with inflammation, maybe you have some what do you call it, autoimmune conditions and things like that. So that's just something to think about. Okay. And you can email me, info@marygracemedia.com, and get your voucher. I'm getting distracted by all the chat about the inauguration. Okay. So yeah, just make sure you message me, though, because you want to get in your your order in. Todd, everybody wants you to call. Can you call? Can you go live on the phone? I'll put him on if you guys want him to call. Let's see if he calls. He might be working. Different time zone. Did you hear me? Oh, Delia. Hold on a second. Let me get your picture. You guys, Delia has lost 56 pounds. Can I show them the before and after, Delia? Is that the one you want me to show them? This is amazing. You're not going to believe this. And she said she feels so much better. info@marygracemedia.com. Todd's calling. All right, here we go. You're on speaker.
Hey, everybody.
He's on speaker.
Nice to hear. Nice to talk to you all. So here's the thing. I reached out to Trump DC today, and you can't make the reservations through the normal channels and reservation. You have to go through the director, which is Patricia Tang at DC. So I'll send.
All right. Are you telling, or did you get a reservation? Don't tell everybody until you get the
I bought a
reservation.
spinning bike. And
he's spinning.
7.4 miles.
7.4 miles.
Huffing and puffing. That's why.
He's on the spinning. You need to do the superfoods with us. Listen, hey, tell us what happened to you yesterday in DC about who you met.
Who? Richard Grenell?
Yeah, he met Rick Grenell. Do you guys want to see the picture?
Oh my God.
All right,
The
hold
people
on.
that everybody thought I looked like.
Yes.
I posted it on my Twitter, a picture of it.
Did you tell him that everybody?
That's how I used the excuse to interrupt him at his table. I was so embarrassed. I said, Mr. Grenell, I normally would never do this, but the only reason I want a picture is everybody's been thinking I was you this week.
All right, what do you guys think?
I don't think so. I don't see it. But I guess when my mask is on, I think even Michael Flynn, when he met me, thought I was him because he came up to me and thought I was somebody else.
I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you think? What do you think, guys?
We both have real blue eyes, but I think it pretty much stops there.
Blue eyes.
And
Is that it?
Smile. And fabulous skin. He must be a redneck.
Fabulous skin. What? Did you tell him your skincare regimen?
No, I was with him all of like 30 seconds.
Oh,
I was with his mom and his husband or his brother. I don't know.
It looks like your BFFs, but look who else Todd got to meet. I'm so mad. I'm mad at you. Hold on.
So many people, you guys.
Look at this. I'm so mad at him. Okay, here. Look.
Sidney Powell, Michael Flynn.
Look at that.
What's his name? Jim Jordan. I got to fight with Jim Jordan.
He's mad. He's mad at Jim Jordan. Anyway, look at that. He met Sidney Powell. I'm so mad. You met everybody. And then you wouldn't let me you wouldn't let me go and talk to anybody. You were like, "No, don't go talk to them."
Well, my policy is to not interrupt people at tables normally.
I know.
It's funny, my friends on my Facebook, all the people on my Facebook private messenger group, they were just getting such a charge out of all the pictures. So they go, "We know you've got one more in you. And I literally was 5 minutes from leaving the hotel and in Rick Grenell. So
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You wouldn't let me talk to anybody. Anyway.
Hey, you got the pictures.
I got a picture with General Flynn. Oh, do you guys want to see it? I met General Flynn. So he met Sidney Powell. She's my hero.
Actually, twice we rendezvoused that night, Sunday night. I have one picture of her in front of the Christmas tree in the lobby, and I have another one sitting down.
Wow.
I knelt down to her chair.
Wow. I have 2 pictures.
She is super sweet. She has such a sweet demeanor.
I have 2 pictures with Sidney Powell. He said she's bragging. He's bragging right now. He's bragging. Yeah. Stop. Just stop.
I think we went through this in our scope, walking and descending into darkness.
Okay, here's me with the general. Look at that. There's me in my Trump sweatshirt. How about that? Yeah. There you go. I met his sister too. She's very sweet. The other Mary Flynn.
So Mary, should we share a room? It's not like we've never done it before.
Oh my gosh. I'll get back to you on that, Todd. He is a show off, isn't he? Okay, let me get back to General Flynn for a minute.
Yeah, let me go away so you can talk about me
All
again.
right, I'm going to talk about you. Yeah, you better listen. And I'm going to show Delia's before and after picture because Delia has lost 56 pounds on
Oh, good
superfoods.
for you, Delia.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
You.
She has been doing 4.5 months. That's amazing. 4.5 months. Like people don't usually last that long, and they give up. I mean, she has been faithful.
Delia, do you do a lot of walking? Does she do a lot of walking?
I'll answer that for you. Yes, and she lives in Arizona. She has been getting up.
Is she the one that lives in Yavapai County?
I don't know. I don't know. But she's moving.
Walking. For anybody who's not walking, I've discovered the joys of walking, like during COVID, and I tell you, it's really good for you.
It is.
I've lost weight just by walking.
Well,
and plus you're out of breathing.
Yeah, you're outdoors. She's been getting up like super early, like when it was really hot, and walking. But all right, are y'all ready? Are you watching us on Periscope, Todd? No, you can't. You're talking.
No, I'm not.
Are you okay? Hang up because I'm gonna show Delia's picture. Say bye to Todd. Bye. Bye. Okay. All right, here we go. This is our little call-in show. Look, you ready for Delia? Is she here? Are you here, Delia? Are you here? Are you here? Okay, we need to see this. Delia has been a rock star, and she was in one of our first transformation groups a few months ago when she was still thinking about doing this. She's in Maricopa County, and she's walking right now. All right, here we go. Here's Delia. Look at this. This is Delia after 4.5 months of superfoods. Look at her, you guys. Doesn't she look like 10 years younger? She put this on Facebook. Everybody was amazed. Look at that. 56 pounds. She looks like a girl, doesn't she? She looks like a young girl. I mean, amazing. I just think that's amazing. Yeah. I know. And it's on our superfoods. Superfoods. Yeah. So if you want to get healthier and lose weight, write to me. Yeah. Get your superfoods. We're doing a lot of like free gift with purchase with superfoods right now. And then I'm giving away, you're going to get a free Healthy Holidays ebook too when you order this month. Okay. So send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. Speaking of food, I need to go cook dinner for my dad. So I'm going to go, and I will, I know she does look amazing, doesn't she? She looks unbelievable. And your skin gets tighter too, because the superfoods are so good for you. So it's good for you, like from the inside out, because you're not dieting. It's just that you're changing your lifestyle and you're putting the best, healthiest nutrition on the planet in your body. The superfoods taste amazing, Tony, on Facebook. It seems to be a lot of men like it. A lot of men use our superfoods. So one of my customers, actually, he drives for UPS, and he uses the superfoods as meal replacements because he's really, really busy. You ordered. Send me an email if you didn't get your ebook, because I have to send it to you. That's coming from me directly, okay? But what I was going to say is one of my listeners, Lauren, he drives for UPS, and he's really, really busy, and he doesn't want to eat junk food, and he's in California, and everything is shut down. And so his superfoods are like his go-to meal replacements, and he said it's the best decision he's ever made. info@marygracemedia.com. So send me an email. I'll give you the information. There's lots of different choices. And Luann says it replaces fat with muscle. People think I've been working out and I'm 63. Yeah. So there's different price points depending on what you order. So you can save anywhere from $50 to $100 or more. So send me an email and I'll give you some information, okay? We also have CBD oil. CBD. Get your organic CBD oil from me also. You can get a coupon for that. Is there any superfood that I can't buy at the grocery store? The answer to that is yes, Evan. Send me an email, info@marygracemedia.com, and I have a little explainer video that talks about our superfoods and why they are better than anything you can buy at the grocery store. I'm not making this up, it's true. Okay, so Jessica has her superfoods. Are you waiting for the transformation, Jessica? Or are you just kind of waiting to prep? Because our transformation, we're going to give you we're going to tell you how to prep. We're going to give you, we're going to tell you, you're going to have like weekly coaching calls on Zoom, and you also get in the private Facebook group. So whether you're trying to gain weight, whether you're trying to deal with an autoimmune condition, whether you just want to be healthier going into the new year, whether you want to lose weight, the superfoods are going to help you with that balance. Okay. So I think that's it for now. I'll be back broadcasting. I just got some information about a press conference that's coming Wednesday. Okay, so I may actually be up in DC tomorrow. There's something going on with the Amistad Project. Do you remember when I went yesterday, or when I went a couple weeks ago and did the press conference with the whistleblower from the USPS? I might be doing something with them tomorrow. So if you don't see me tomorrow at 5, just watch my Periscope throughout the day, because I may be going live from a different scenario, depending on the weather too. Okay. Mary Grace, where can I find info on AMA rescinding HCQ? Send me an email and I'll try to tweet it out too. I'm on Twitter at Mary Grace Media. I'm everywhere, Mary Grace Media. Go to marygracemedia.com too, and you can also click on my support links there. So if you don't want to buy superfoods help support the show, by the way. But if you don't want to do that, you can also partner with me by clicking on my support links on the website. Greg, it can help with weight gain. Yeah, so if you're working out and you're wanting to gain, our superfoods are going to help you do that, because you're going to gain muscle. Really, really solid protein source. Okay, so send me a message, info@marygracemedia.com. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye.